Yo guys, what is going on? And in today's video I'm switching it up a little bit and I'll be talking about social media. The social media I'll be talking about today is Instagram and how to grow 50,000 followers on it in about a 6-month span or less depending on your niche and depending on how hard you hit it, to be honest. You can hit it really hard and get pretty good growth, or you can be pretty lazy with it and you won't do too well. This video is like, I didn't even write a script for this video just because I'm going to be going straight off the dome. I've personally grown 75,000 plus Instagram followers through different accounts and stuff. The method that I've taught my friends have grown them, between multiple accounts, at least 300,000 plus followers. So I decided to make this video. It's really simple methods, and just because they're simple doesn't mean they're easy. It takes time and it takes the work that you have to actually put in order to get these followers out. But if you follow these methods, you have a really high chance of actually doing successful on Instagram. I'll be covering how to manage your page in the beginning, how to get content, what to do when you're bigger, repost groups, all these questions that you probably want answers on if you're here for Instagram marketing. Maybe you want to market your small business, I can help you with that. Maybe you want to grow a niche page and end up charging for shout outs or promoting a web link or a Shopify store. Been there, done that with all of it. So I just wanted to talk about it and, kind of just do a little walkthrough about, I'd say I guess the first part of this video will be how to get your first 10,000 followers. And a lot of people don't want to hear this, but in the beginning, you're going to have to follow a pretty decent amount of people. Typically, if you don't have promotion, you're going to have to get explored somehow. And whenever you're a small page, you're not really going to rank on hashtags. And if you do rank on hashtags, then they're not going to be big enough hashtags that are actually going to do you some justice. So I would say for the first 1,000 to 3,500 followers, you're going to want to do follow, unfollow, and have a consistent posting schedule. You can post between 1 to 3 times a day. It's really up to you. Personally, when I was doing in the very beginning, I was doing like 3 times a day just to get my feed looking good, up until about 70 to 90 posts, and then I kind of slowed down and I was only doing 1 or 2 posts a day. But it was working pretty well and it got me my first like 5,000 followers. So once I'm at 5,000 followers, I'm starting to unfollow people because I'm starting to grow organically, and I'm still posting like once or twice a day. And you really just have to pinpoint down what does good in your niche. For me, it was these certain videos that did really good, so I would use that. And I was just curating, post, so I would get it from another page, but I would give credit to the original owner, therefore giving the owner some exposure as well as growing my page at the same time. It's very beneficial to both parties, and you just have to make sure that you maintain, that liability of giving them credit and actually making sure you're a reliable source to get quality content from, and people will come back to your page. So now that you're at about 5,000 followers, and this will probably take you a month or 2 months. Me personally, I was doing about 100, I was doing sprees of 75 at a time when it would come to following. So I would follow like 75 people right after I posted, and I would do that a couple times a day. And after a month, I had probably followed 6,000 to 8,000 people, and I probably had about 3,000 followers, but I was getting organic traction, so it was working quite well. So now once you're through that, you have to learn the quality post, what to post, stuff like that. And then you really just stay consistent to it. My schedule was every single morning I would wake up, I had work at noon, so I'd wake up at like 10:30 before I would even get out of bed. I would go on, find my post, and post it. Use the correct hashtags, which I can talk about in a completely separate video because hashtags are an entire separate game. But you use the correct hashtags, the tag the right people, yada yada yada, the drill. You just don't want to be spamming stuff. You don't want to be posting 10 times a day. It makes you look like a terrible page. You want to be posting quality content, post between 1 to 3 times a day, and I promise you'll grow if you just post something and engage with people that, you're providing value to them. If you're posting really cool stuff, then, a lot of people are going to value your page. Getting on into the next step, we're going to do the 5,000 to 15,000 follower range because this is the middle stage, I would say. Once you hit about 15,000, it really starts to skyrocket. But you might have the question, what do you do at the 5,000 to 15,000 follower range? And for me, all I did was post every day consistently and get that follower to following ratio down. You don't want to be following a whole lot of people because when new people see your page, they want to see more than 5,000, 10,000 followers, and they want to see you following a very little amount of people just so you look very reputable. So as soon as I got all these this following away, I was only following one account, which was my personal account, and I was doing a growth method with it, so it was working pretty well. And it looked like a pretty reputable page. I had 15,000, 20,000 followers, and I was growing at a pretty exponential rate, and it was really nice. I mean, one day I remember getting like 3,000 followers in one day. I thought it was like absolutely insane. So between 5,000 to 15,000 followers, you're gonna wanna work on unfollowing all those people you followed in the beginning, as well as continue to post quality posts and sticking to it. Every single day is more valuable than the next. And if you see with the YouTube uploads that I've been doing recently, I have actually been doing everyday uploads just because I understand the value of every day sticking to something consistently. And then to roll into the next part of the video, which will be, 15,000 followers and above, I did want to announce something. I've been talking to my friends about this outside of, YouTube and everything, and I'm really trying to grow the channel, and like I was saying, I have been uploading every single day, so I'd really appreciate it if you click the subscribe button down below as well as the like button. If this video hits 1,000 likes, as well as any other videos on this channel, I'm going to shave my head bald. I thought it was really goofy, and I thought it was a really funny idea as like an incentive to get more likes on my videos. So if you see the video hit 1,000 likes, then I will shave my head bald, and I'll post it on the channel or my Instagram or something, but I will do it. You will notice it. So if that's something you want to see, just, leave a like down below, and I think it'd be really funny, and it's a fun way for me to engage with y'all. Getting back into the video though, we are at the 15,000 follower mark, and then what do you do from there? You essentially just keep on posting every day, and you're gonna get hit up by a lot of big pages that want you to be in groups, and they're called megas. Now what megas are is essentially a DM group where everyone has 50,000 followers plus, 25,000 followers plus. There's a bunch of different groups, but what you do is trade posts. So I'll send a post into the group, and someone that is also big will like it, comment, maybe story shout out for shout out, stuff like that. And these groups do help out a little, but what I found is just staying long term to posting will help you out so much more than being in any of these groups. If you're smaller and can ease into one of these groups in the beginning, it helps you out like a lot. Like if you're, only got 500 followers and you ease into a group with 15,000 people, then of course it's going to help you out. But when you're really big, if it's not, if you don't have that much time, then I really wouldn't worry about it. It's something that a lot of people really worry about and just stress about getting in these groups. But to be honest, I wouldn't worry about it. Then you're going to get to the point to where you're going to start making money on Instagram, and you're going to start wondering, well, how much should I charge for promotion? What I did is I would just get on my personal account and I would message people that are around my same size in the same niche that I am. And I would ask them, like from a consumer perspective, I would say, hey, how much are you charging for promotion? Because I'm interested in getting some. And they give me their price, and I would hit them with I'll get back to you. Or you can just ask them, say, I run another page and I was wondering what you charge. Charge around that rate. You can go lower, you can go higher. It's really up to you. But that's how I personally figure out, what to charge people for promotion. And it works pretty well. I remember when the 40,000 follower page, I remember one week I made like $150. Absolutely insane. Super good side hustle. A couple other things I brought up in this video that I didn't touch on, because I kind of just gave a rough outline just now of, the whole Instagram thing, is hashtags. How do you find good hashtags? What I do is I don't use the biggest hashtags in the world. There's actually a website called For Display Purposes, which is really good for finding hashtags. The only thing that it's not good for is curating those hashtags to like the size of your page. So for example, if I'm using the same hashtags as a guy who has 100,000 followers, well, since he has so many more people looking at the pictures under those hashtags that he's posting, he's gonna have a lot more good ranking on those hashtags. Like whenever you search the hashtag, his pictures are gonna pop up before mine, and it's not gonna be the best for me because there's someone above me. So what you wanna do is you wanna find smaller hashtags that the big pages aren't using, and you want to use them in the beginning. And you kind of change these hashtags over time. You can remove the smaller ones and add bigger ones in as you grow followers, Maybe you're doing like a very small hashtag when you're under 1,000 followers, but you get to 5,000 followers, so you delete that hashtag and replace it with something that's a pretty decent size. Keep scaling your hashtags up, and that's all there really is to it. You can trade comments on other people's posts, but it's really not that big of a deal. The biggest deal is trying to find the quality post for your page, and the comment section will let you know what they like and what they don't like, as well as how many likes you get on a video. If a video gets an exorbitant amount of likes, then chances are you should post another video or picture like that. For example, if you're running a car page and you post like 5 pictures of Toyotas and they get 500 likes, but you post a picture of a Nissan and the Nissan gets 1,500 likes, you probably should start posting more pictures of Nissans. That kind of thing is a very simple concept, but it works quite a bit. A and B testing out which post does better than the other is a really good way for you to figure out what your audience likes and to provide quality content. That's really the truth. After you decide your niche and you start growing in it, it gets easier. You just have to stick to it. The first month or 2 months is probably the hardest, just because you got to stay on it. You got to follow a bunch. You actually have to it's really draining, to be honest, because you have to follow so many people and keep up with posts, and it's really annoying. But I promise, once you get over that 2-month road bump, everything's smooth sailing. The hardest part is following that initial like 5,000 to 10,000 people just so you can get your initial follower base. But once you do get your initial follower base, you're gravy, you're really good. You just stay consistent, and over time, I promise you it'll work. You can do this with multiple accounts, but what I found is growing multiple accounts at the same time actually just really sucks. That's like the truth, because you're already having to do so much work in the beginning of running an account that doing 2 accounts just sucks even worse. And the second account's typically a lot easier to grow if you already have an account that's pretty big, because you can just give them endless shout outs and it helps out quite a bit. Some growth strategies I have for like growing a second account, because I've done these personally. I was trying to grow my personal page while growing a niche account, so what I did was I unfollowed everyone on the niche account except for my personal page, and I made my personal page private. Now this is an important part of the formula, because when your page is not private, people will just look on your page and they'll be like, I don't want to follow them. But when your page is private, everyone wants to follow you because they don't know what's on it. If you're doing a niche page that's hitting explore, then this isn't a good option. But if you are promoting your personal account, I promise you, if you switch it to private, that you will start getting follow requests, because people want to follow you. People want to see what you're posting, but they might not necessarily want to follow you. So if you can capitalize on them wanting to follow you at a certain point in time, then you can typically keep them as a follower for a pretty decent amount of time. And it works out pretty well. I mean, I've grown, I think within like a month of being, on my bio and just following my own single account, I had like a 45,000 follower account. I think within a month I got like 450 to 500 followers on my personal, which is, pretty solid. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty solid number. So I was pretty happy with it, and I'm continuing to grow, and it's just an amazing method. There's so many different methods for different niches and different types of accounts. There's comedy accounts, meme accounts, car accounts, makeup accounts. I mean, there's just so many different styles of accounts on Instagram. This is just like a real general roadmap as to, how to navigate building your page. Even in the beginning, I know it's super hard, so that's why I brought that up, because it's probably the hardest part, and you're probably watching this because you're under 5,000 followers. If you're above 5,000 or 10,000 followers, you probably already know what to do. So I was trying to curate this video for people that don't have a whole lot of followers, because I was in the same boat about 6 months ago. And once I figured out these methods, I taught my friends, and my friends taught their friends, and I mean, it's just awesome. I remember 1 month I was growing like 2,000 to 3,000 followers a day, and it was doing absolutely incredible. And my friend was like, let me put you on. So I put him on, and he even surpassed me. He has like 150,000 followers now. Another friend did the exact same method, taught him the exact same ways, and he has like 140,000 followers now. So I know that these methods work because I actually do them. Some niches are just more competitive than others, and that's what I found is these methods will work. It just depends on what your competition is and what your niche is to decide how long it will take. Some niches, it will take 500 to 1,000 posts to pop off and actually do good. I mean, that's just the reality. Some niches, it'll only take 25 to 50 posts, and that's pretty great. You have to really decide if you're going to do this for the money and the promotion, or if you're going to do this for stuff that you like. Because I used to run pages that over topics I didn't like, and it's just terrible. I mean, that's all there really is to it. It's just terrible. You don't like what you're posting, and I mean, that's all there is to it. I was running a car page for a while, and I really like cars, so it was really easy to post on it because I was already looking at them like all the time anyways, so why not look at this? And it was just super easy to post. I could post a couple times a day, and I enjoyed what I was posting. It made growing the account a lot easier, even though the niche was a lot higher barrier of entry. That being said, that is going to be my little roadmap to 50,000 followers guide. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down below if you need any helps on Instagram, as well as maybe like if you've grown accounts, like what your story is, or just share a little bit of information, maybe some growth tips, what you've done before to be successful. I'm genuinely curious and want to start a discussion in the comments, and I think that'd be interesting. So with that being said, stay tuned, daily uploads, subscribe to the channel. You already know what it is. Like the video, 1,000 likes, I'll shave my head, and that is going to be it.